So a little over a week ago, Jim Jordan, the head of the House Judiciary Committee, sent Alvin Bragg and Matthew Colangelo this letter. They were virtually identical, just with the names swapped out. And it read, "Dear Mr. Bragg," or "Dear Mr. Colangelo, we write to respectfully request your testimony at a hearing before the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government of the Committee on the Judiciary, titled Hearing on the Weaponization of the Federal Government." And when I did a video on this last week, I said, that's a really long title. But you know what? I'm kind of sick of this language, because considering what they did to Donald Trump, they held a rigged trial against Donald Trump. He got convicted. He is a convicted felon, and all the Democrats can label him as such. You need to do something with a little more teeth. You can't just respectfully request. They didn't do anything respectful whenever they held this trial against Donald Trump, and they rigged it, and they had a fake judge preside over it, and they had one of Joe Biden's henchmen as one of the main prosecutors in this trial. But according to the Epic Times, it might have worked. Manhattan DA Bragg is available to testify in Congress. Oh, wait. Under certain conditions. See, this is what happens. These Democrats, these people who fall on the left side of the spectrum and they are aligned with the regime, they are able to set the conditions, set the terms, however they want with Congress, and they get away with it. But when someone from the MAGA movement or from the right side of the aisle tries to do this, what happens? Look what happened to Steve Bannon. He got sent to prison. Well, he's being sent to prison. He's got to report to prison on July the 1st. But let's look at this. An official letter under Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg responded to a letter from a House Republican panel signaling the district attorney is open to testifying in the wake of former President Donald Trump's felony conviction late last month. Mr. Bragg's general counsel, Leslie Dubeck, said in a letter to House Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan of Ohio that the district attorney currently has scheduling conflicts, but might testify in front of the committee in the future under certain conditions. So let's take a look at what these conditions are. And let me tell you first that Jim Jordan has responded to this, and he has finally clapped back with some teeth, and I love it. But let's look at this. Ms. Dubeck, the general counsel for Alvin Bragg, says this office is committed to voluntary cooperation. That cooperation includes making the district attorney available to provide testimony on behalf of the office at an agreed upon date and evaluating the propriety of allowing an assistant district attorney to testify publicly about an active prosecution to which he is assigned. But Ms. Dubeck continues, to participate in a public hearing at this time would be potentially detrimental to those efforts. The district attorney's office therefore requests an opportunity to engage with committee staff to identify a new hearing date and to better understand the scope and purpose of the proposed hearing. As with the prior inquiries from this committee, we look forward to discussing blah, 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 blah. So basically, what is going on is they want to postpone this hearing date until after Donald Trump is sentenced. And let's take a look at what Jim Jordan said. This is an article from the Washington Reporter. Jim Jordan, he has said, we will subpoena Alvin Bragg and Matthew Colangelo if needed. So as you notice in that previous article that I was reading, Matthew Colangelo was not mentioned. And he's the one I really want to hear go before Congress, because Alvin Bragg, I've been saying it time and time and time again, he is just a figurehead. This guy, he's a nobody. He's just the head of the New York District Attorney's office, and he allows his office to be used by parasites that use his office to go after people like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the big one, of course, but this is what Jim Jordan had to say in response to all of this legal talk from Ms. Dubeck, Alvin Bragg's general counsel. House Judiciary Committee Representative Jim Jordan will subpoena Manhattan's district attorney and one of the DA's lieutenants if the two don't voluntarily appear before Congress to discuss the criminal convictions against President Donald Trump. And this was told exclusively to the Washington Examiner here. So this is exclusive news, and I'm giving it to you guys. And this is what Jim Jordan said. Everything's on the table. See, this is the kind of language I like to hear, because for the Democrats, for these people aligned with the Biden regime, everything is literally on the table, and they've made that clear. They have went after Donald Trump, they rigged a trial, and they are about to sentence Donald Trump to something. We really don't know. I said before that he should be sentenced to 4 years in the White House, and I strongly believe that. But I don't think that's really what they have in mind. But he said this about the possibility of subpoenaing Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg and the Department of Justice alumnus Matthew Colangelo. So this Matthew Colangelo guy that I have highlighted right here, this is the guy. He worked in both the Biden administration and also the Obama administration. He was the Associate Assistant Attorney General in 2021 for President Biden. So this goes on to say, who has previously been described by Jordan as a lead attorney in the political prosecution of President Trump. He is. He actually made the opening arguments in the hush money trial against Donald Trump. Last week, Bragg expressed willingness to appear before Jordan's committee, but not on Jordan's proposed time frame. But Jordan said, we got a notice last week and we're communicating with them, but if they're not willing to come voluntarily, we will subpoena them. So this is music to my ears. These people are rabid, out of control prosecutors who slap Donald Trump with trumped up charges. Yes, pun intended, okay? Pushing back against the political warfare from Democrats like Bragg and Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis, who is leading Georgia's election interference case against Trump, is one of Jordan's many priorities. It's about dang time he made this a priority. He's a little bit late to the party because all of these trials seem to be wrapping up, and now he's coming in on the back end. But you know what? Better late than never, I suppose. But he is also working to ensure that, quote, no funding should be able to go to any special counsel that hasn't been approved by the United States Senate. So this would directly affect Jack Smith. And by the way, did you know that Jack Smith was the one back in 2010 who pressured the IRS to discriminate against conservative companies? Do you guys remember that? The Tea Party was involved. I was kind of young back then. I wasn't paying much attention, but I do remember it from years ago, just vaguely. That was Jack Smith. He was the one that pressured Lois Lerner, is that her name? Lois Lerner, to discriminate against these conservative organizations. And then he pops back up in the Biden administration and he goes after Donald Trump for classified documents. Surprise, surprise. If you didn't know that, let me know down below, because I didn't know that until about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. But this would be unwelcome news for Department of Justice Special Counsel Jack Smith and his classified documents case against Trump. Another priority of Jordan's is to pass legislation to limit how rogue state prosecutors can target former presidents and vice presidents. Jordan also recently referred former Trump lawyer Michael Cohen to the DOJ for prosecution. And that's not going to go anywhere because the DOJ that he referred this prosecution to is headed up by, guess who? Merrick Garland, who probably crumpled it up and threw it in the trash. But he did this because he gave false information to the committee a few years ago, 6 different times. Yeah. So people like Michael Cohen can lie before Congress, can perjure themselves. They get off scot-free. They get to deal with all these prosecutors, and they're able to lie in these rigged trials in New York. But someone like Steve Bannon, they get sent to jail. Directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. But although Republicans only control one chamber of Congress, Jordan wants to maximize his leverage to extract concessions from some of Trump's familiar foes. Yes, we need to use our leverage. One piece of unfinished business that Trump wants to work on is the location of a potential new FBI headquarters. It's stupid for the FBI to receive a lavish new headquarters, he said, especially because it has, quote, retaliated against whistleblowers. Jordan also called out a series of recent wins he's proud of, including ensuring that former Department of Homeland Security official Nina Jankowicz no longer runs the Department of Disinformation Governance Board, which went defunct after less than 1 month. Praise the Lord for that, he said. Additionally, the IRS does not make unannounced visits to Americans' homes anymore, which the agency claims is to, quote, reduce public confusion and enhance overall safety measures for taxpayers. I mean, basically they're saying in this little phrase right here, we're from the government and we're here to help, and that should scare the heck out of you. And to this, Jordan said, baloney. They are doing it because we caught them knocking on Matt Taibbi's door at the very moment that he's testifying in front of our committee. Odd timing, right? It seems like the government just has perfect timing every single time, and they always try to make it look like a coincidence. It's insane. I mean, they must be the luckiest people ever. But according to this article, and these are 3 massive issues that I think is very good to focus on for this committee. I think these are some of the most important issues for them to focus on because this stuff has gone on for way too long with nothing happening. It's just like we're at a stalemate, and a lot of people are really perturbed about what happened the past several years. And they're looking around like, hey, is anybody going to do anything about this? I mean, our elected officials, why did we elect them in the first place if they're not going to do anything about this? Because we see the Democrats are just doing whatever they want, but the Republicans are just kind of laying back and taking it and not doing anything whatsoever. I'm always asking, why are the Republicans constantly on the defense and they never go on the offense? But it seems like finally Jordan is going on the offense on some of these things. COVID misinformation, weaponized government, and big tech censorship are three of the issues Jordan spends his time on. They're also, in his estimation, quote, why you're seeing so many people say, wait a minute, I think I'm going to be voting a little more Republican than I was in the past this November. So that is what Jim Jordan is up to. He is not taking this BS from Alvin Bragg and the District Attorney of New York and Matthew Colangelo. He's saying, listen, if you guys don't come here voluntarily, we're going to subpoena you. And if they don't come, I want Congress to hold them in contempt and seek charges, because we need some answers to how this trial kind of got constructed and why Judge Burchan was able to preside over this trial while being one of the most conflicted judges ever in history. But what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Do you think anything's going to happen? I don't know. I can't wait, because I'm going to be live streaming these testimonies. I can guarantee you that. But let me know what you guys think. But like and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But until then, I will see you on the next one.